Hi everyone, I hope everybody's doing great, and Neon and Kris are playing Magic the Gathering somewhere in Lancaster. I thought I'd take advantage and touch base with you. I was thinking about the video that I just did on rethinking my bucket list. I haven't quite come up with the list yet, but I was reminded by a subscriber that she was happy that I'm reworking a bucket list and just to stay positive and focus on what I do have rather than what I don't have. And she's absolutely right. Gave me some food for thought, and I am grateful for so much. Even cancer has actually given me some things to be grateful for. I believe that cancer has in some ways made me more patient. I kind of have this, I'm not going to be here forever anyway, so life's too short, who gives a shit? You know, that's a great attitude to have. I'm still not patient with world events and how other people always act. You know, and I probably never will be because I don't understand the behavior of some people, but that's just a different soapbox. But I'm very grateful for the life I have and the quality of life I still have. I am just grateful to the cancer for opening my eyes, I suppose, to the fact that life is too short and that we should get busy living while we can. There were many years that I lived, you know, I call it dumb, fat, and happy, just going with the motion. And before I knew it, I turned around and said, you know, I could have done this, I could have done that. I don't have many regrets, though. I believe that we make the life that we make for reasons. And perhaps the years that I'm talking about, I needed to do what I did. But the soul came here to experience. Like for right now, maybe it's experiencing this. And then at some point, it's like, okay, I have done what I needed to do there. And now let's go experience this. The thing in between, though, change, it's kind of scary. It is kind of scary. So I think it's important to really be mindful of your life. And we all go through very difficult times, whether that's with family and other relationships, or whether that is with ourselves and our struggles as far as decisions, or whether that's financial. I mean, I'm definitely not living in the same means that I had before, but I downgraded a lot of things and I am living within them, even though the means have changed. And a lot of people can't stay positive about that. And I understand that. And I credit the cancer to that as well. You know, when you're younger and you go through those lean years, for instance, I was bitter about that. And you get moody and then you overeat, or you stuff your emotions, whatever it is that you do. When you're young, financial struggles are, I think, a little more difficult than they are when you're older. I also believe that the cancer has opened my eyes to the importance of who cares. I've been a minister for many years. I was a pastor for a while. Who the hell am I to not have faith? And when I look back and think of the times that were so hard, I mean, there was a time when my food came from a church and a food pantry. And maybe that only happened for a few months. There was a charity that paid my electric bill one month. And there were times when I had to eat spaghetti just because pasta was cheap. I don't have to do that anymore. But as you get older, you build your life and you go to a certain standard of living. And I'm not eating pasta because I have to eat pasta. But I definitely have downgraded a little bit. And Kris has had to also make that sacrifice. So when we get a bill, it's like, when it's out of the blue, is very difficult. Kris had some car repairs, and they kept the car for a week when they were supposed to keep it for a couple of days. So using my car, I couldn't get to the office, so I wasn't working that week. And then a couple other bills came up, and lo and behold, we get to the point where they're going to charge us up the wazoo, and we have to put it on a credit card. Okay, now I'm like, okay, so we'll get that paid off. It won't be a problem. And money I had set aside to, in part for those car repairs, is going to a new computer, because if I'm going to continue with YouTube, I'm going to need a stronger processor and a stronger memory, and I'm doing things on a laptop, and I've got new software. The software was free, that was great, but now I have to buy an expensive computer for the free software, and my laptop just crashes over and over again. And I've had that problem for a while with anything that's powerful, and it served me well when I was just doing emails and, you know, checking Facebook out. But now I have bigger needs, and so I had to sacrifice some of that credit card payment. And yeah, I feel broke, but there's a big difference of how I would have felt about this, 15 years ago. I think that's part of the aging process, but I also feel it's about having faith over the years. And some people cannot handle, when the budget gets tight. When I really feel that, looking back, I've always landed on my feet. Always. I still have a lovely roof over my head and a car to drive and food on the table. And that's what I'm hanging on to. I mean, debt is not sky high, but when you run into the unexpected, which is what you should expect, you have to deal with it. And you have to deal with it with some positivity. So while I feel that's part of age, I also feel the cancer made me acutely aware of that. I don't want to really give cancer credit for anything, but there you go. So to that wonderful YouTube subscriber who has a kind of a complicated name, so I'm not going to bother. It's just user 123 something. Love you very much. Thank you so much for opening my eyes, or at least inspiring me to do this video and really take stock in the things that I have. And it's not that I don't do that, but I felt like lately maybe that was more important to do. You have to revisit that once in a while. You do take life for granted quite a bit. Another thing that cancer has done for me, but there are disappointments in life. It just happens. This week was weigh-in day was today for Kris, Neon, and myself. And none of us did great. But I believe there's fluctuation. Even if you say, well, there's, it's science. Well, sometimes we plateau. And I know Kris got lots of exercise this week, and, we did okay. We had a couple of exceptions, but we usually can get away with that each week with an exception or two. But it just means that we have to fight a little bit harder or find a different means to break up the plateau. Everybody has a theory. I'm not sure. I just think that I'm going to make sure that I lessen my carbs again this week, because maybe I am thinking this many is good, but maybe it needs to be less. But I got to stay positive, because if you get miserable, you're just going to give up. You're just going to adopt this attitude that says, well, why bother? Well, because it's important. There may come a time when I'm losing weight and I'm not trying to, and I'm scrambling for the next protein shake or the next Ensure just to make sure I get my nutrition. But that doesn't seem to be happening right now. This is a harder diet plan. And I just want to stay healthy as best I can. Like my doctor says, even though you have cancer, no matter what the prognosis, life goes on, ironically. and you still have diabetes, and you still have to do this, and you still have to do that, and you have arthritis, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. There are restrictions. I could throw it all away, but why should I do that to myself? You know, I want to feel good for as long as I'm here, for as long as I can. So we continue the fight. And I hope that this inspires you to look at what you have rather than what you don't have. Because I believe we're all here for a reason. And if I was a wealthy woman, for instance, I don't know that I would have spent my life helping others. I would have, but on a different level. I got to spend time with clients, and still do here and there, who I want to help. They seek guidance. I have guidance. It makes me feel good to give. And there you have it. If I was wealthy, I tell people all the time, well, you know, I'd be in the Bahamas or something right now. So this wouldn't happen. But we're here for certain reasons. And that may be why, you know, God has kept me just above broke. And it's fine. I've never not had what I needed to survive, or I wouldn't be here. So take stock in what you have. And from there, you go on to the bucket list, you know, in a realistic way. Because looking forward to things is very important. It opens up this chakra right here. It's called vision. Limited vision is when your chakra is closed. That's your third eye. People think that's about being psychic. It isn't. It's about having vision for the future. That means making plans. And once you have unlimited vision, the sky's the limit. When that chakra is closed, you're prone more to depression because there's no hope for the future. So turn it around and be positive. That's all I can advise you. All right, I want to go to the mailbag. I was asked what a cheesesteak is. I know there's a lot of smiles coming from you Americans, especially around the Philly area, but this comes from England. Thank you for your question. I'm going to pop up a picture for you. This is a cheesesteak. It's chipped beef with cheese. And if it's a good cheesesteak, it has a very good roll. That's a secret to a good cheesesteak. Now, there are variations, but I like plain. There are variations of cheese. In fact, in Philadelphia, they kind of use a cheese whiz that's orange. Not my thing. I like provolone. It's a very Italian sandwich that originated in Philadelphia, but you can probably get it anywhere in the US now. Emma, thanks for that question. I also have a question for Kris. How do you feel about Francine's spiritual abilities? That's a good question. Okay, you know why you're looking at the wall? Because we're eating dinner. I made this awesome lentil soup. I haven't really tried it yet, but
it smells awesome.
Yeah. To your health.
To your health.
To your health. Neon's with us, by the way, but we don't expect any verbalization there. Opening the mailbag here. And they wanted to know of you, what do you think of my spiritual gifts? Being married to me.
I don't think of them much, except when you use them to cheat at cards.
No, they weren't supposed to know that.
Well, I mean, you can edit that part out. They did freak me out quite a bit when we first started seeing one another.
That's because I could hear you talking about me at work. I used to text you. What are you talking about? Just,
Spooky lady.
yeah, spooky. Even my license plate says spooky. So this soup is so good that I'm going to have to link it. So definitely this is lentil soup with curry and red lentil. It is so good. Oh my gosh. I just love making soup. Okay, there you have it. And I'm going to close for now. I think I might do a back-to-back video. I have another topic I want to tackle. But in the meantime, I hope you're having a great day, evening, whatever, you know. Be blessed. Love you all. Bye.